Welcome, professional wrestling fans, to the PW Fan. The PW Fan is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans, and we appreciate you joining us for episode 40. I am your host, the old school wrestling fan, collector, barber, musician, a guy with too many hobbies, talk wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcasts, Andy, and Funko Pop collector.
I'm also your host, the no-selling wrestling indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
Okay, guys, episode 40. Here we go. Today we are going to be talking about Sasha Banks unfortunately being released, Vince McMahon stepping down as the CEO of WWE, and some of that behind the scenes of the scandal, as much as we know so far, which, like a lot of you, is not very much. We're also going to be talking about the Young Bucks winning the AEW tag team titles and more. Before we start the show, though, if you guys can check out our YouTube channel, we got all of our old episodes on there. Hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot. And then for streaming, just audio on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those are our main two. And you can leave reviews and like on there as well. T-shirts, we do have stuff on ProWrestlingTees.com/the PW Fan. And I think that takes care of all the intro stuff. I did see at the top of the show, though, before we get started, I don't know if you guys got the notification, but Bleacher Report just sent to me that Rhea Ripley is not going to be cleared for Money in the Bank, and that so this was literally like 5 minutes before I got on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're all open with Bianca Belair talking about how.
Okay, cool. Cleared. So they opened that up. Yeah. They addressed that on Raw opening.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think of, I guess before we get started, I do want to mention that next week we're having Bro Keller, professional wrestler and friend of the show, come to join us. He's going to be our fourth host for the evening. So he's going to basically just help us do our review of Forbidden Door. And then we're going to interview him afterwards and ask him questions about the business. He's done behind-the-scenes work for AEW. He does travel the indies and do different promotions. And I actually met him through him coming into the barbershop. And I was having a conversation about wrestling with somebody. And he was like, oh, you guys like wrestling? And kind of hit it off from there, and I asked if he'd ever be down to do the show, and we're going to have him on next week. So excited for that. It's going to be some really cool insight, and we're going to give all of his credentials when he comes onto the show. I know he's a champion of different promotions, and so no disrespect to them. I want to make sure that when he is on, we say the names properly and where you can go see him wrestle. But it's going to be a really cool show, a different show for us, not something we normally do. All right. Well, we got that down. So, Andy, why don't you bring us into our weekly review of everything?
Alrighty. Well, before we get into the shows, let's talk about Sasha Banks being. Well, like me and Jeremy were talking before, we're like 95% sure she's been released by WWE, right?
Yeah. No one seems like they've been able to confirm it yet, but it's basically done.
Confirm it 100%, but yeah. I think Naomi is still suspended. Sasha was suspended, but I'm pretty sure she's been released. And I read online that WWE just thinks they can just make another quote-unquote clone of Sasha Banks, which is just like, that just makes WWE sound more like a factory. Yeah. Like just pumping them out. It's like, we can just make another one. Like, okay.
Yeah, that's just...
So if I'm a betting man, she will eventually end up in AEW because she is a top talent.
Either that or she,
I don't expect
either that or she goes into acting
to Impact.
Yeah,
that's true. She was in Mandalorian season 2. I don't know what else she might.
Was
have
she
been,
good in that?
But
I didn't see it.
I mean, she didn't have too many lines, but I mean, she acts on TV for a little.
Yeah, to be fair, Bill Burr and there's another fucking guy in the Mandalorian that I was like, isn't that? Oh, no, sorry, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was an Obi-Wan. So they're always putting these weird people in there that you're like, what?
And when Bill Burr does it, he's just himself always. He doesn't play characters.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Where do you think she'll end up in AEW? You think she'll take some time off like she did, a couple years ago to kind of get her head right?
Yeah.
And learn to like wrestling again in case she's been fed up with it?
I mean, it seems like right now she's probably leaning towards taking some time. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of prefer that for wrestlers because it gives them time to heal in their body and they come back. Like, I mean, Punk was the extreme version of coming back 7 years later, but it just shows you what time off can do for you. And also, her name would be cool. Like, her actual name is Mercedes, wrestling name.
That's
So
a cool name.
Correct.
Like, that's, I don't know. To me, it's
Mercedes
she could be
Banks.
so much better than what she was.
Well, you already have Mercedes Martinez, so maybe not another Mercedes.
Well, she'd be the Mercedes that's on TV.
Yeah. But I think WWE dropped the ball with her, in my opinion. It seemed like they didn't really know what to do with her. They put her in the tag team, gave her the tag team championships, but
Which is insane.
they never did anything with the tag team championships. I forget that they're even a thing. I don't even know who the champion.
They didn't do it. They said there was going to be a tournament, and they never did the tournament.
Oh yeah, they never did anything. Exactly. So point proven.
Yeah, but if she does go to AEW, I'll say real quick, it'd be huge for AEW because I feel like they've gotten so many male wrestlers now, like released or fired or whatever from WWE. So now if like women get, I don't mind if they sign a lot more women to AEW because they need that.
Fingers crossed for Paige and Sasha at some point. That'd be awesome. But yeah, let's get into I want to say the biggest story of the wrestling world this week.
There's been like 10 big stories in this past 2 weeks.
So this story started with Vince basically was getting, I guess, sued by the board of directors for WWE for hush money, like $3 million of hush money that
investigated. Yeah,
he's being investigated. We
for $3 million in hush money. Go on, Tim.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we're given the correct information as we know. He's not being sued, right? As far as we know, or is he? Does Jeremy? I feel like Jeremy has more information.
No, just investigated.
Okay.
It could lead to legal stuff if, say, the hush money was used for company funds. I think that's when it.
Yeah, that's the big part.
It's not a good look right now. The story, I believe, because I've watched a couple of videos about it, was there was a paralegal that was hired at one point, and at some point Vince doubled her raise from like $100,000 to $200,000, and I think the story is that maybe some sexual favors had happened, and at one point he moved her over to work under John Laurinaitis. And
and she did both. She did work under John Laurinaitis too.
Yeah, and so now there's rumors that she was paid hush money for that as well. That her and John Laurinaitis had some kind of sexual relationship as well. I think is what everyone's thinking. He's married to the Bella's mother.
But dude,
so
what I'm talking about is okay. If this stuff happened for Vince, that's not good because he's been with Linda for 40 years or whatever. But when is the time frame that we're looking at here? Like early 2000s, 10 years ago, this year, the 90s? When?
I know. I think
January.
January. Yeah, I think January. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, you didn't know that? Yes. Recent.
Which is
Tim's like, that's
more disgusting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because I was like, look, to be fair, I'm like, is this like one of those things from I don't want to say like
a cancel culture thing?
I mean, I'm like, what is this? Why all of a sudden is this happening? But if you're telling me that I haven't read anything deep enough to have any insight other than, damn, that sucks. But, so you're saying that it happened as recently as this year, last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, damn. All right. That's crazy.
Now, apparently,
that does make it way crazier.
Not the entire board.
Yeah. That does.
Apparently not the entire board brought the investigation to the front. One of the names left out of the members that did was actually Nick Khan. Nick Khan is not one of the people that brought the investigation to the front. Out of some of the board members, it was like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And Nick Khan was not included, apparently.
Yeah, I feel like Nick Khan, ever since he's gotten to WWE, things have been happening.
Yeah.
He's like the emperor.
But So that's the beginning of the story. What ended up happening though. So that's all the beginning of the story. What it led to so far is Vince McMahon voluntarily stepped down as CEO of WWE, which is crazy if you've been a fan for a long time.
Yeah. The only other time he's done this was the steroid trial.
Yeah. And I read today that, it is being looked at as a temporary thing until this goes through. But with that being said, Stephanie McMahon is like an interim champ. She's an interim CEO right now who, we all had heard that she was basically gone from WWE. I think they said it was like a quiet leave.
To focus on her family now.
And now she's back. Yeah, now she's back in this role.
Have you guys ever seen the show Succession on HBO?
That's what a lot of people are actually comparing this to.
It's because...
I think Pat McAfee talked about it.
It's kind of like, because the dad is the boss, and then it's like she'll step in the, agreement that she gives the power back. But maybe she won't get the power back. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'd say that a lot with these stories, but it really have to wait and see with something.
Here's what's interesting though.
Investigations aren't quick.
WWE is such a machine now, though, in the way that it's ran. I think at this point, if you take Vince out, it doesn't look like anything changes. Like, I literally have Raw in the background right now, and there's all this behind-the-scenes stuff with Vince, and everything's crazy. Dude, it looks like the same Monday Night Raw that's always on. You know what I mean?
We still got Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, but he's
what I'm
technically
saying,
running it.
Still got Bruce Pritchard.
So,
Vince,
but what I'm saying is, okay, so even in this scenario, let's say that this alleged stuff does turn out to be true, and he just is gone completely or whatever. Does anything even really change? Like it just seems like the wheel's just going to keep going. Like he almost has become like the thing that he would always talk about, or Bret Hart would say. Wrestlers are just like a spoke on the wheel, like one breaks, you just take one off and put another one on. And I feel like WWE's becomes...
No, it'll most likely just keep going.
But it would just keep going like almost the same. I feel like,
Yeah.
It's like a Disney exec... Like if a Disney executive left,
McMahon involved
nobody would really notice,
Right.
Yeah.
The crazy part is that, so let's just say like Vince, for this investigation has stepped down completely, like officially, and he's actually out of WWE. Like Nick Khan, I feel like he's the president of WWE, but I feel like he's been set in WWE to sell, because he's like he's a business guy, right? So he's been setting up to sell, and there is a family who's in wrestling who's richer than McMahon's, who can buy WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, he already bought ROH. He could just keep buying them. Becomes the new Disney, just buying all these movies.
And then you'll have an actual Forbidden Door.
Dude, that would be the craziest turn of events ever if AEW bought WWE.
You see Tony Khan show up on SmackDown?
Like, just think, like, all right, this is total fantasy booking, and I seriously doubt it would ever happen.
You're like, I bought WWE.
But dude, that would seriously...
I bought the competition.
Whoa.
Or no, he'd be like, I bought the competition.
Yeah, that's more like...
But listen, everything's still going to be cool. We're all going to be nice to each other. Like, it would be like a total different vibe. He's like, look, it's really unfortunate that this happened, but, we're going to save a lot of good jobs. Like, where Vince is like, I crashed my competition.
You guys want to get into Raw there this week? Not to dwell on the Vince McMahon story and all that, because there's a little bit more of the Vince McMahon story when we get the Smackdown.
Oh, right.
But, just in the beginning. But this week on Raw, opened up with Miss TV with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was out there because Riddle had a match this past Friday in the main event of SmackDown against Roman Reigns for the Universal WWE Championship, or whatever it's called. I don't know, Undisputed Universal WWE Championship or something like that. Too much, man, and I don't know the order. then Riddle comes out. Heyman and Riddle are on the mic. And the whole stipulation for the match is if Riddle loses to Roman, he'll never get another title shot while Roman is champion. So Roman just can't be champion, which, if we look into the future, will probably be many
I feel
times.
like we heard that before, though, somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's all
Yeah.
we're gonna we'll get into it, but
Uh,
I mean, Moxley might as well just be the AEW champion at this point, like because that's what's gonna happen at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
But we'll get into our predictions later. But
Yeah.
that's how I feel. It's like, well, all right, you just know it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Well, I just want to say on this segment, like, what do you guys think about Riddle on the mic? Because, like, his voice to me always, like, kind of ruins it.
Bro, Randy is my best friend, and dude, that's all he talks about. He's like, "Get well soon, Randy," and he's like, "I'm gonna dedicate this match to my best friend, Randy."
It just takes me out of it.
Miss you, Randy.
I'm just like, there's no, like, intensity to me. I'm like, come on.
in the ring's one thing. On the mic, he's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But then the Usos come out for Jimmy Uso versus Montez Ford, so it was a nice little segue into that. Monday Night Raw, we had 2 women qualify for their Money in the Bank and spot, and that was Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. I believe that happened through a tag match. Those 2 teamed up and won their match. Maybe, I don't remember. It might have been Doudrop versus Doudrop and Nikki Ash. ASH. There was a backstage segment with Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles attacks Seth Rollins in the back. This leads to the AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins Money in the Bank qualifier.
What a match.
And our winner was a great match. Our winner, though, was Seth Rollins. So I don't know what they're doing with AJ in the future, but Seth Rollins is actually the first male qualifier to move on to the Money in the Bank. The main event of this show was fucking weird, guys. It was a pose down between Theory and Bobby Lashley.
Sports
And I don't
entertainment.
know, dude, I read that Theory's getting like kind of a new gimmick, and there's a bunch of baby oil involved. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's whatever it is, just we'll
Baby
just have to wait
oil?
and see. But after this whole pose now thing,
Come on.
he's flexing, man. It's just, and Bobby like destroyed him in looks wise. If you're gonna actually judge
Yeah,
between the two, but yeah, Bobby Lashley versus freaking
Yeah.
Theory.
Let me be your wrestler.
It was just that I was like, that's the main event of Raw.
I'm going to be a
Right.
wrestler.
Like,
I'm
what?
going to be
I
a
really
wrestling
want to see the numbers.
history buff here, and I think the last pose down in WWE history was Scott Steiner
Scott
and
Steiner.
Triple H in like 2002.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they did one. And they were all baby oiled up and
I remember.
everything.
Watched it.
So much baby oil.
It's fucking weird.
What is with, like, Vince and bodybuilders?
Those big men.
Oh,
Vince loves big
yeah.
men.
Big
This is huge. He's big. Look at that body.
Oh shit!
But
Vince
that's all I
is
had for
on Raw
I
right
just thought It was
now.
a weird main event.
What?
All right. Well, we'll have to talk
Whoa,
about it next
this is
week.
crazy. All right. Sorry, I look up on the screen and there's Vince, and we're
there's
like
you.
laughing around. We're making fun of him, and I'm like, "Whoa, there he is."
Why is he do that? Okay, never mind.
yeah,
We'll talk
well,
about it.
This just got even crazier.
All right.
Live on air.
Getting off the rails. This week's Dynamite was what's called Road Rager. It opened with Ortiz versus Chris Jericho in a hair versus hair match. This was a good match. What I'm going to say, quote unquote, Fuego del Sol interferes and hits Ortiz with a sledgehammer, and the winner is Chris Jericho. So it's then revealed when they're at the ramp. Fuego del Sol takes off his mask, and it's Sammy Guevara is revealed as Fuego. Ortiz then buzzes his own head. I think he nicked his
Yeah, he definitely
forehead
did.
because he started
Yeah.
bleeding with his buzzer. So yeah, what do you guys think of this? Like, it leads to blood and guts between, like, I guess the group.
Yeah, that part, like, once this is over, it kind of made more sense. But
I'm gonna use my barbering
Yeah,
expertise
Ortiz is now bald.
real quick to say that he went too fast.
I was hoping Jericho would shave his head
Yeah,
because
he went too fast with the
Yeah.
clippers. He was ripping the skin. It's not good.
definitely, You see, he was just holding his hair and then like cutting it like really hard.
Yeah. He was like intensely. I was just like,
as he's yelling blood and guts for like 10 minutes.
After that, we had Wardlow versus 20 plaintiffs. The rules of this match were kind of weird. They all started on the apron except for Wardlow, and he just pushed him off like a rumble, except for not going over the top rope.
Yeah.
And they were like, they're eliminated. And then, I don't know, some were pinned, some were thrown out. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
that
I think the winner we all saw coming was Wardlow.
That was weird to do whenever they have that many people and they throw them all into a pile. I'm like only one guy's shoulders down.
Yeah. He pinned 4 guys at once, even though one guy was on his back, the rest were on his
I was
stomachs
like,
on
this
top,
match,
and it counted as 4.
I'm not gonna lie,
eliminations.
I was like, this. Well, I don't know. I just didn't get it. I was like, maybe when Bro's on the show next week, we could ask if he could break down a little bit more of what the stipulation was, because I think he was in the match, but we'll get a.
He was there.
Yeah. So I just want to know from him.
Men of the Year
were.
come out though after. Men of the Year came out afterwards because Wardlow had said that he wants the TNT title, and then Matt Hughes and Tyron Woodley, who are former fighters, come into the ring, and then I believe Wardlow powerbombed Mark Sterling though, right? So they're bringing more UFC fighters and ex-UFC fighters in.
I think that was just a one-time thing because they were in.
Yeah,
they were in like whatever city they were in.
Mm-hmm. Up next was the awesome match: Dax Harwood versus Will Osprey. Winner was Will Osprey, which I think makes sense with him, being the visiting guy right now. What do you guys think of the match before I talk about afterwards?
I love Will Osprey's style of wrestling. It's like I wish he was on American TV more for us to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, great. But yeah, I can't wait to see him at the pay.
And then we all know Dax is very.
I got a Will Osprey fig in the glass case.
Afterwards, United. There. Yes. Afterwards, United Empire surrounded Dax. Cash Wheeler, Rocky Romero, and Trent attacked. And then Orange Cassidy returned to injury. And we are getting... I don't know how I feel about it. Actually, I know how I feel about it. We're getting Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door. I'm just like...
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Orange Cassidy, then enjoy it.
This is not... This sucks.
How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, it's definitely like I thought it was going to be like a tag match with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a 5-on-5 or something like United.
And then they said like a 1-on-1. I was like, oh, just like deflated.
Why you get Will Ospreay in America for like this time only, and this is the match, Tony, bro? Come on, you could have made it. So many other dream matches.
It's gonna be a good match. I promise.
Oh my God.
People were saying because like Will Ospreay, I think he tagged with Orange Cassidy before or whatever and got to know him. Or like it was on the cruise, Jericho's cruise. And like he liked him and wanted to work with him, I guess.
And I guess what I said, I call it all friends
like,
wrestling, man.
After that, we had a face-to-face with Jon Moxley and Tanahashi. Everyone loves Tanahashi. JR loves Tanahashi. Tanahashi is very over. Jericho comes out though, and the JAS, and Desperado and Lance Archer, who are a team in New Japan, they attack Moxley and Tanahashi, and it's revealed that Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti are the newest members of the JAS.
Everyone knew that already.
And then Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz end up coming out. They finished Ortiz's haircut in the back at some point.
He looked better.
And they try to help out their buddies. But I think this Wednesday we're actually gonna have a team up of Jon Moxley and Tanahashi against Jericho and
I think Hager.
Remember.
I don't know. I will say this segment was good until Jericho came out. Like, why couldn't it have just been Moxley and Tanahashi?
I don't know. Didn't Jericho wrestle Tanahashi at one point?
Yeah, I think.
Didn't they? Wasn't that his feud after Kenny when it came to New Japan?
Yeah, I think so.
Then we had a tournament match, Ethan Page, all-line tournament, Ethan Page versus Miro. Actually, a pretty good match. Winner was Miro, so Miro and Pac have moved on. We're still waiting on one more match. That's Penta Oscuro versus Malachi Black. The winner of that will move on to the Fatal 4-Way, and then the qualifier, or not qualifier, but tournament match between two New Japan wrestlers will get us our final one for that. We had an Adam Page segment, and then he talks about how he called out Okada the week before, didn't even think that, to, call out Jay White, not thinking that Okada would lose the title. And Adam Cole comes out, says that, again, Adam Page isn't going to be the one to challenge for it. It's going to be him. Jay White ends up attacking Adam Page, and he says he doesn't want to put the title up against Page or Cole. So his opponent for Forbidden Door is still to be decided.
Well,
I don't know who it's going to be if it's
what
not
if it's
Dempsey,
Omega?
Omega comes back.
It would be. It would have to be like Wednesday, or if he just debuts at the pay-per-view again.
I don't know. Maybe it's Jeff Hardy. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Oh, real quick, since you brought him up, I read. You know how we were saying like they were supposed to win the titles. The Hardys were supposed to win the titles on this Dynamite.
Yeah, I read that that changed though, even if they weren't it because Jeff
the brain
hurt.
scan that he mentioned in like that footage for the cops, they were gonna like have them be attacked like in the entrance or whatever, and then be carted off. So that he was never actually gonna wrestle.
But before that, they were supposed to win the title.
Before that,
right?
but then I guess they found something in his head or something like that.
Speaking of which, I watched the dash cam of it.
Yeah,
30 minutes.
I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of like skimmed through it, but damn,
he had 2 double shots of Fireball, dude. That's
nuh-uh.
It was that like that's all he said.
That was all he
That's what
said. I didn't see that
like,
part.
2 double shots of Fireball.
He's like, I mean, I had 2 double shots of Fireball, and that's it. But
I'm like, dude, it's like 9:30 in the morning. You were going all night
Dude.
at Dave and Buster's or something.
And you see that clip of him doing the concert where he took that shot of like the shot
he's
of
like,
whiskey, but it
whiskey's
was, like,
my
this
worst
much.
enemy and my best friend.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw
Like,
that.
oh.
Yeah. And I was like, oh boy.
Well, speaking of the Hardys, the main event, like we were saying in the ladder match, it ended up being Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks in the ladder match for the AEW Tag Team titles. Winners and new champions are the Young Bucks. So either way, they were going to take the belts off of Jurassic Express. Before I talk about what happened after, what you guys think of the match?
That was another awesome ladder match in AEW. Like the Young Bucks are
Do you think
insane.
Do you think it was the right time to take the belts off Jurassic
Yeah.
Express?
They were like the background characters to their own tag title defense.
Yeah. Well, afterwards, and I think we all saw this coming eventually. I don't know why. It just seemed like they were going to do it. Christian Cage turned on and attacked Jungle Boy, and then gave him like a chair toe.
Yeah.
And
He was bleeding after that, apparently.
Yeah, he started yelling at Jungle Boy's sister and mom, who all have the same haircut as him.
Yeah. Did you hear what he said?
He raised.
He's like, you raised a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he turned, man. A Christian Cage heel is way better.
Yeah, they need more heels. They need good heels, and Christian's good.
Yeah.
So that wrapped up Road Rager. Let's I'm gonna jump around. I want to go to Rampage first while we're on AEW. The only thing I wanted to talk about was Sting returned, I guess, after being injured.
Yeah.
Or off of TV. He returned during the Bobby Fish and Darby Allin match and took out Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, or Darby got the win in the end. But he came out with a bat. He had his black trench coat on with the scorpion on the back. It looked like some classic Sting.
Sting.
But yeah, so he's back. Unless there's anything else you guys want to add from Rampage, that's pretty much all that I
was going to mention, since we're talking about Sting too, like I don't know if you saw a Slammiversary for Impact. Like Sting did a video, and also AJ Styles actually did a video like because they were celebrating their 15th.
Apparently, Samoa Joe was not.
Yeah,
asked.
which is weird.
I've read that today.
He has a huge part.
So on that subject, yeah, Samoa Joe was not asked to be in that anniversary video.
But I thought that was cool that AJ was able to do it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. But let's get into
Slammiversary?
SmackDown opened up.
I didn't see it, but that's how I imagine it being.
SmackDown opened up with Vince McMahon. SmackDown opened up with Vince McMahon, and this was the day that he had actually stepped down as CEO. I think fans and everyone, even in the back and the announcers, were all expecting. I don't know. I was maybe expecting him to be like, your new CEO, Stephanie McMahon, bring her out, or even say something. But it was just weird. All he said was, he's like, those 4 words on the screen right there. He's like, then, now, forever. He's like, and most important, together.
Yeah.
He's like, always. And then literally like threw the mic, dropped it, and then walked away.
Weird.
I was like, what the fuck?
And also I was like,
is he basically saying like, this shit's going to keep going whether I'm CEO or not?
but also if he was making that point
know,
of saying like, because he said together, like to make a point, I'm like, we're not with you, Vince.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of odd. You know, I guess it brought in ratings for that first segment. You know, when you hear they announce it on social media, like Vince McMahon will appear on SmackDown, and this is just after the CEO stuff broke, and we're just
I
like,
hate that so much.
I'll tune in. I know it did it for me, and he was just like, such bullshit. I was like, oh my god. He was like, oh, Vince, you got us again.
We're gonna be
friends. It just did the intro, and then it like.
So last week on SmackDown, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre had a Money in the Bank qualifier match, and it ended in a double DQ. So this week,
they wrestled.
Adam Pearce just comes out and says, both of you are in it. It's like, okay, what was the point of the double DQ? But so Sheamus and Drew McIntyre have been added to the Money in the Bank match along with Seth Rollins. Raquel Rodriguez ended up qualifying for her Money in the Bank match. And then we had the main event, Riddle versus Roman Reigns. This was a good match. I mean, but who'd y'all expect to win? I mean, of course Roman fucking wins. I believe Roman's next opponent for SummerSlam was supposed to be Randy.
Yeah.
But that is not happening because Randy's hurt. I think it's a back injury.
I think so.
Actually. But what state and city were we in? We were in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And who's from there and who returned? Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes out. Place goes wild. He goes out into the ring. He's wearing his cowboy outfit. Goes to shake Roman's hand. Roman goes to shake it, and he grabs Roman, F5s him, F5s the Usos. So it is set Roman versus Brock for SummerSlam for the titles.
Why?
Dude, the comment.
Why? Because there's no one left.
The comment
He just
section.
went through Brock though.
The comment section is so brutal when they announced that match. People were just like, "Damn, again."
Yeah.
There's nobody left for him.
Yeah, but they're like, Brock's not left because he just lost. Like, he's not next in line.
He's like, "Give me another shot, pal."
So we'll get another match that we've seen 10 times now. But that wraps up those. Before we wrap up the show, I wanted to go through predictions for Forbidden Door if you guys wanted to. I got the list of matches in front of me. Cool way to end the show since it is next week. Let's start at the bottom. Jericho Appreciation Society and Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta. Well, when it's Jericho Appreciation Society, it's Jericho and Sammy Guevara. And then teaming up with Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino, if I said that right. So I'm guessing that is someone from New Japan that I do not know.
Good guess.
Yes. So I don't know.
All of these are going to be tough.
Based on how it's been going, I'm going to say Jericho Appreciation Society probably.
Yeah.
based on how things have been going. How about
I
you
don't know, because
guys?
all of these are going to be tough except for like the title matches, because I feel like title matches are kind of obvious. But the rest of them, like I don't know, because it doesn't really matter, I guess. So I guess I would go with Eddie Kingston and those guys.
All right, how about you, Tim?
I'm gonna go same with Jeremy. Just to I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jeremy's pick.
Yeah.
All right, we got Pac versus Miro versus either Malachi Black or Penta, and then versus whoever from New Japan. I don't know if we can even predict yet. But...
You know it's going to be Malachi Black because Penta can't wrestle with New Japan because of AAA.
Okay, so it'd be Pac, Miro, Malachi Black versus, and then versus him from New Japan for the AEW All Atlantic Championship,
which is more than just the Atlantic, but yeah.
Can we even pick a winner?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, it's not going to be a New Japan guy.
I'm going with Miro.
Yeah. I want Pac. Pac deserves one.
How about you, Tim?
I think Miro. Just because of the freshness and
next we have
that he's back.
Yeah.
Next we have Thunderosa versus Toni Storm from the AEW Women's World Title.
I want Toni Storm.
I want Toni Storm to win, but Thunderosa has hardly had any defenses. So,
yeah.
How about you, Tim?
I think Thunderosa needs to win this match. You know what I mean? Like, as the champ.
It needs to be a good match, though.
It needs to be good, but she needs to win to solidify her as the champ.
Yeah.
After that, we have FTR versus United Empire, which is Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, versus Roppongi Vice for the Ring of Honor World and IWGP Tag Team titles. This
is pretty cool.
Winner take all.
This one is the one that I don't know who's going to get. I mean, well, I actually think I know. It's FTR.
I'm hoping FTR.
FTR, baby. Absolutely.
And then they're going to win the...
How about you, Tim?
They're going to win the AEW ones after the Young Bucks, I think, too. Because then it'll be the Young Bucks, FTR, and it's going to be all of the titles online.
Yes. Then we have Will Osprey versus Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States title. I think Will Osprey wins. He just won the belt. Orange Cassidy is not winning the IWGP.
And also, Will Osprey doesn't even have the belt yet because of that storyline with Juice Robinson in New Japan. So, yeah, he's going to win.
Tim, you agree?
Yeah,
Will Ospreay?
There's no way Orange Cassidy is beating Will Ospreay.
We have Jay White versus to be decided for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. I feel like since he just won it, whoever he faces, he's gonna end up winning. So I'm sure we'll find out this week on.
Hopefully,
Dynamite.
it's like a good twist. Like it's not just like Hangman or whatever.
Yeah. And then finally, Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW World title. I think we're all in agreement. Jon Moxley.
Yeah, I want Jon Moxley, but also I want like Tony Khan just to start doing crazy things. Be like, Tanahashi just wins the AEW World Championship, and then he has it until Punk comes back.
That would be nuts. Like, see, all those guys that would have to stay over here, and
I know.
Like, it's a long ass fucking flight, man, to be going back and forth to defend.
Yeah, but then,
sorry,
go ahead.
Oh,
no, I was going to say about the
Bryan
Danielson thing, but so there might be more matches.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool to see him versus Jay White.
Yeah, because I think is going to face Zack Sabre Jr. because Zack Sabre Jr. called him out.
That's right, Zack Sabre Jr. called him out. That would be a really good match.
Yeah, it's going to be a.
But that wraps up the show, Tim.
Well, I guess that about wraps it up. Yeah, like I said at the top of the show, join us for episode 41 next week, where we're going to have Bro Keller, professional wrestler, be with us. He's going to be our co-host, and then we're going to interview him about his career. And I think it's going to be a really interesting interview. Follow him on social media, and let me just pull it up here. I should have had it ready, but what are you going to do?
Why do you sound like an old man when you just say that?
Hey, Jeremy, you're gonna have to edit this out. uh, okay,
It's probably at Bro Keller.
so follow Bro on social media at Bro Keller, which is BREAUXKELLER. And yeah, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well, which is at the PW Fan. And if you like Funko Pops and collectibles, follow Andy on Instagram at the 410 Fan Bros. Thank you all so much, and join us next week for episode 41. We hope you all enjoy Forbidden Door and have a great week. Bye bye.